Sit down, son. The fire is warm tonight, and I want to tell you a story from long ago. A story about courage, fear, fire, and survival. It is the story of the War of 1812. More than 200 years ago, the United States was still a young nation. America had won its independence from Britain only a few decades earlier, but tensions between the two countries never fully disappeared. At that time, Britain was fighting a massive war in Europe against Napoleon of France. The British Empire controlled many seas and trade routes around the world. Their navy was the strongest on Earth. American ships traveled across the oceans to trade goods, but British warships often stopped them. The British would search American ships and sometimes force American sailors to join the Royal Navy. This practice made many Americans angry. Imagine being taken from your own ship and forced to fight for another country. People in America saw this as an insult to their freedom. At the same time, conflicts were growing on the American frontier. Native American tribes resisted American expansion into their lands, and many Americans believed Britain was supporting them with weapons and supplies. Day after day, anger grew stronger. Then finally, in June of 1812, President James Madison and Congress declared war on Britain. Many people believed the war would be quick and easy. They were wrong. The fighting spread across forests, rivers, lakes, and cities. Soldiers marched through mud, rain, snow, and unbearable heat. Some carried heavy muskets and cannons for miles. Food was often scarce, and disease spread through military camps. One of the first major goals for America was invading Canada, which was under British control. American leaders believed Canadians might support them against Britain, but the invasions failed badly. In one battle after another, American troops struggled against British soldiers and Native American warriors. Fear spread through the camps. Some soldiers had little training, while others had never experienced real combat before. One famous Native American leader during the war was Tecumseh. He was a powerful Shawnee chief who tried to unite tribes against American expansion. Tecumseh fought alongside the British because he believed it was the best chance to protect native lands. Many people respected his bravery and leadership. Meanwhile, battles also erupted on the Great Lakes. Ships armed with cannons fought fierce naval battles across dangerous waters. One American commander, Oliver Hazard Perry, became famous after winning the Battle of Lake Erie in 1813. After the victory, he reportedly sent a message saying, "We have met the enemy, and they are ours." That victory gave America control over Lake Erie and boosted morale across the country. But the war was far from over. In 1814, British forces launched a major attack against the United States. They marched toward Washington, D.C., the young nation's capital. American troops tried to stop them, but the British advanced quickly. Soon, the people of Washington were fleeing the city in panic. Then came one of the most shocking moments in American history. British soldiers entered Washington and set fire to important government buildings. Flames consumed the Capitol, government offices, and even the White House itself. Smoke filled the night sky. People watched in horror as the young Capitol burned. For Americans, it was a painful humiliation. But even after such destruction, the country refused to surrender. Soon after burning Washington, British forces moved toward Baltimore, an important port city. To capture Baltimore, the British first needed to destroy Fort McHenry, which defended the harbor. Then came the famous bombardment. Throughout the night, British warships fired rockets and cannonballs at the fort. Explosions lit up the darkness. Smoke covered the battlefield. Rain poured from the sky, while soldiers inside the fort waited under constant attack. From a nearby ship, an American lawyer named Francis Scott Key watched the battle anxiously. All night long, he wondered whether the fort had survived. When morning finally arrived, The smoke slowly cleared, and there, above the fort, the American flag was still waving. That powerful sight inspired Francis Scott Key to write the words that later became the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem of the United States. Even today, people still remember that moment. As the war dragged on, both sides grew tired. Thousands of soldiers had died in battle or from sickness. Families waited desperately for loved ones to return home. Finally, diplomats from both nations met in Europe and signed the Treaty of Ghent in late 1814, officially ending the war. But news traveled slowly back then. Before many soldiers even knew peace had been declared, one final major battle took place. The Battle of New Orleans. In January 1815, British forces attacked American defenses near the Ninetwai